Let's go. And this is the Underground World News Live here on this 8/24/2026. Good evening. Much love, Skeeby. Steely, legendary out the gate with the super chats. Thank you, counting the day for the coffee. At the gate there, Christ is King. All praise to the Most High. And thank you for the feedback, everyone. Yeah, here we are for another one. Was just working a little bit on the new track. Can't wait to be able to get that dropped. Of course, it's going to be a second. I got to do my thing and get it over to Crown Jewels there that you see in the chat. Let him do his thing, and we're going to drop a banger on you. I'm hyped for this one. It's this one's a fun one. Keep the flock off the block. It's just the beat was just meant to be, and I guess you'll see here soon. Thank you to those that share the stream. I appreciate it to the fullest. Those that get it out there in front of eyes that I cannot reach. Myself, Kev Bar, Sound of Light, Blooded the Brave, all the cats over on Rumble, Silver Sailor, John Boy, all my mods holding it down. I will. I was just about to ask you to email me anyway, Crown Jewels, a fresh one. I will go checking. If you sent me something, like send it, resend it. Is all I'm gonna say. Resend it. That way it's fresh tonight because man, my stuff gets buried if it's not in spam. But Dabu7 at yahoo.com is the email for anyone out there that needs to get a hold of me for anything, get anything sent my way. If you got any stories, any links, anything going on, let me know. All right, looks good over there. Let me get a refresh. And we'll get this show started here. Again, thank you for all the love there. MC. 1 second. Let me get a. There it goes. All right. We're waiting for the full refresh. A little slow on me. All right. So we're going to start off here with what you see, the blood moon approaching. We've got this popping off here in just a few days, August 27th to the 28th. You can see here how they got it laid out. They got a time frame here. This is an Eastern Daylight Time. So on the night of the 27th to 28th, would show at 12:13 a.m. Maximum eclipse 96%. So this is going to be an almost full blood moon eclipse. It's going to look bloody. It's going to be bloody on the inside of the ring right there. But you can go over to spaceweather.com. I'll be updating right up to this. Hopefully, we got some clear skies. I can see the moon shining out there bright tonight. But it's all pending with that. I believe I have a piece here also on it. See them every day. But that is what we got going on here coming up. Let's get to some updates on some of these outbreaks. We've got alpha sprouts now linked to bacterial infections in 15 different states. So, the exploding stuff started with, unconfirmed reports of lettuce and this and that, and it's spread all over the place. I think it's a big op, if you ask me. Just spreading stuff. So you can't trust nothing out there. I would not be trusting the beef, as well. Here we go. The nation's largest cattle group slamming Trump because of this tariff-free beef undercutting and cutting throats on U.S. ranchers. What's happening here? So 300 tons. They're calling it ground beef here, but that's not even what the White House called it. You have got to watch the wording. It was product for ground beef. Product for ground beef? Like what? Like, I'm telling you, people, you better watch out because they do not care about you. They do not care. George Bush Sr. knew it. He knew it. He even said it on camera. He said if the American people ever woke up and caught what they were doing and caught on, they would lynch them in the streets. He said it himself. So we are getting decimated, man. A wrecking ball taken to this whole place. It's been that way ever since lockdowns. It's been part of the plan. Knock out companies, make them go bankrupt, knock out farms, make them lose all their livestock, and just cripple this entire place. It's what it's been left and right. So when you've got the biggest cattle group out there stepping up, slamming Trump, like it's game over for him. Like The whole, having a big MAGA party and all that, woohoo, like that's long gone now, even in the rear view. There's nothing to celebrate at this point. People are in wars they don't want to be in, all kinds of stuff they didn't vote for, and they got to answer to other people because people are like, you voted for this, you wanted this, and people are getting pissed. About time. If that's what it takes, about time. It's a left right paradigm, and people get pissed when they feel like they've been buffaloed, when they've been fooled, been played. Let it be. Let them feel played. Let them wake up if that's what it takes. Let it be in mass. Let them, you know, let them gravitate behind the farmers here, because farmers, I'm hoping that we see something that like what we've seen in Europe, where they get together on the tractors and they start riding state, all mounting up, make a big statement of some sort. You got to do something here. I could see it happening at this point because they're getting screwed so bad by Trump. You know, just a year ago, you would have not have thought such a thing, but Trump is pretty keen to screwing people over and don't care. These people are pissed. On the last show, it was how MAGA has completely fell apart and exploded. They've turned on it. This had something to do with it too. I mean, all this prices through the roof on everything. I don't need to tell you. You already know. It's not going to get better anytime soon. The things that got this whole thing started with Hormuz and this whole war, everything is still ongoing. And as I told you before, this is a plan to reset this whole thing. So I'm going to keep it pushing here. Wanted to point out the GDPs in every state, because here in America, we have states that have GDPs that are bigger than other countries. Believe it or not. You can just kind of glance there on the map, see wherever your state's at, and the reciprocating country there. I'm in KY here, so it's as much as Kazakhstan. Florida is equal to Australia down here, Georgia to Taiwan, Texas to Russia, Hawaii to Guatemala, California to the UK. I mean, California's got the biggest one there with 4.3 trillion. Their own little sub economy, so to speak. Let's jump into the water wars, because that's what this is. This is affecting a bunch of you out there. I mean, friends, family, people just tune in here. I'm hearing it across the board. People out west not liking what they're seeing with the Colorado River. And I've been warning about it for some time because of the mega drought. It was kind of ominous and obvious to me that this isn't good. Low snowpack, mega drought, mix in some heat domes, all this other stuff. And then also fires. It's like mass weather warfare, like full scale. You got everything in the mix, but the climate's perfect for fires and all that. The drought, the water really low. That's where we're at with this. And you've got these water basins, man. It's scary lows, like really super low. So there was a ruling on where all this massive water is going to go to, or how it's going to get divided up between the states all the way out to California. And some people are pretty ticked off about it. So this last week, the department released a 10-year plan for managing the river. And as part of the plan, they're saying that Nevada will have to give up 50,000 acre feet. That's about 17% of its allocation. Additionally, California is going to have to give up about 10%, which some are saying that they consume more than anyone, but yet they're having to give up the least amount. But then you turn to Arizona, that looks to be getting hit the hardest here. 27%. They're going to have to cut back, respectively. It's decimation. I don't see how this place. My buddy, Hippie Mikey, over on X, man, he's out there in Arizona, along with Spiro and others, man. He was making comments like, man, I'm gonna have to pack up and actually leave this place because it's gonna be uninhabitable. When the water dries up, like to that extent, I mean, what do you do? Um, you're gonna see an exodus? I mean, what do you do? It's a tricky situation. Um, it's kind of crazy that the whole West has just that one big river runoff from the top of the Rockies all the way out to the West Coast. Just that one main runoff that feeds into everything. It'd been nice if it was split in two, but it's not. And without any rain, this is a disaster. This is a setup. I don't know what you're going to do. I mean, the first thing that I think of when I think of survival is water, because it's among the top things you're going to need. You can only last a few days without water. You can go weeks without food, right? So water critical. If it dries up, you're going to see a bunch of people like moving to different areas. They're going to be fleeing this area by default. People are not necessarily going to want to, but they're going to have to if they want to survive, right? I mean, I don't know. Does this become a war at some point? I don't see, maybe, but if it gets to a certain point, the water's just not going to flow. It's going to be so low, it's just not going to flow downriver. And then you're done. Doesn't matter how much you're allocated California. You know what I'm saying? From this, you're going to be cut off because it's done. And that's the message here is it's running dry. Super low. I dropped a video on it last week. Lady standing down there in the river, like, I'm in the freaking river. It should be raging right here. Like, it's like a stream. It's scary, man. So you got this war. You got lawsuits being filed. Nevada filing a lawsuit now against the government over these water cuts. And I don't know where this is going to go, but this affects everything up to 2027, 2028. This window is a dire window. I've got actually a couple stories that hit on that timeline right here. So the Colorado River Basin is experiencing historically low runoff, and the reservoir levels are bad there amid a 26-year drought, is what they call it, which worsened recently. It's resulted in the lowest observed snowpack on record. The lowest observed snowpack on record. This is what we just went through. Now, if we do this one more time, if we do it this winter, which it's set up like it could do it, with El Nino and everything down there, this could be horrific. You know, JP Morgan Chase came out last week. They don't often make statements like the one they did. And they said the same thing, the same window. Going into the end, the harvest of 2027, like, we're done. And that the people need to wake up because they're under this illusion that they have plenty. They literally call it the illusion of plenty, where everyone thinks we have plenty of this and that and all that. And the biggest companies out there, the top people are saying, wake up, people. We don't have plenty. And they're going to find out the hard way. We don't have plenty of water. But the thing is they can make it rain. They could pump in fresh water. They could do all types of stuff. Their lack of trying is criminal, treasonous. It is. Putting lives at risk. A total lack of management. They suck. They should be in jail. They have the technology to do things. They're not even doing it the right way. We catch them cloud seeding in front of hurricanes, literally, like Houston, where it floods the place out. But yet, they could be cloud seeding out here, just getting some water going where it's needed. Not a drop of it. Nothing. Nothing. When you all go out there and see them chemtrailing all the time, and the rain follows. They have no problem dropping rain bombs in places they can't handle it and inundating places like that. We see it left and right. Why can't they do it out here? They won't. They don't even attempt it. Desalination again. I don't know. This place is like the product of bad management. Like it's mismanaged totally. We've got the tech to do all these things, and the people got to stand up. They got to quit being scared. They got to stand up, and they can start getting some of these things enforced. But until then, I'm going to keep it pushing here because the weather is a weapon. I told you, mega drought. The water's low. They control this by controlling the domes, jet streams. You've got a monster heat dome right now, probably sitting on top of some of you, for sure. Right now, 50 million Americans, 118-degree inferno, as they got it labeled here. Above 110 degrees in many places here. Arizona, Arkansas, California, Louisiana, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Texas, all placed under extreme heat warnings because of this. Texas forecasting it's going to get hit hardest in Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Lubbock, Odessa, and El Paso, all impacted by high pressure systems blanketing the area. Phoenix and Tucson, Arizona, San Diego and Los Angeles in California, Shreveport in Louisiana, Oklahoma City in Oklahoma, all warn the same of this potentially deadly combination of extreme heat and high humidity. So, hey, if you're out there in it, you're feeling it, I'm sure. This is no joke. When it's evening and you're still over like 100 and stuff like that, or it's super bad, man. Temperatures in the Phoenix area are expected to reach between 106 and 118 degrees in the afternoons this week. 118 afternoons, Phoenix this week. Let me tell you. I've been out there in that heat, man. It's not 118-degree heat, but I can't imagine, man. And you could see there on the map parts of Texas in the purple. It's going to be getting hit. So a heads up, heat dome, fires, drought, lack of water, and fires. You can see this one. This is going through Nevada. This threatens the areas around Reno. You've got homes, hospitals forced to evacuate. Level 3, go now. Thousands of people. Over 90,000 people at this point. I think it's over 100,000 people. The fire's spreading. It's always ominous when you look off in the distance. You see these fires coming, like heading your way. Like the entire horizon on fire coming at you. That sucks. And when you're on the front line, this is what you end up seeing. Something similar to this. When that line makes it finally to where it's burning, the fresh stuff and everything behind it's charred, it's smoke. I've been there in these mountain fires, man. It all depends though just on what catches, because if the trees really start to catch, you're dealing with an inferno. If it just remains on the ground and it stays a ground fire, you lucked out in a sense, because All it's got to do is really catch, and it takes off. Fires have been a huge thing this year. If you guys are experiencing this, let me know. The smoke, all of it. Yes, reptiles eat humans. Spiro in the house. Much love. Um, yeah, but just talking about your neck of the woods there, Spiro. Um, well, your territory out there, out west, you should know it's hot and it's dry. And large portions on fire. D White been keeping me posted from his neck of the woods, and tacos as well. There's been fires in many different states. Now, I'm going to jump to a wild situation here. Let's go to Gary, Indiana, where people are asking for prayers here because of the chaotic situation that has broke loose in this area. I'm going to tell you from my research, this is more than just Gary. There was pockets in Ohio that had no electricity that were saying the same thing. And then you've got this central story. I'm just going to read this article, and then I got another one here connected to it. But this one is saying thousands of northwestern Indiana residents remain without electricity 2 weeks after storms hit on August 11th. People taking to social media with their frustration. I've seen clips of family members showing up at other family members' houses, like knock knock, and they're like, "What's going on?" Like, look, we have no electric. We haven't had electric for 2 weeks, and they're like, "What?" And people freaking out. Like, yeah, phones died. weren't able to charge them. We tried to tough it out as long as we could. In 2 weeks, people. This is where things start to get crazy. When you run simulations of when the grid goes down and all this stuff, it's after the fourth and fifth day the panic really starts to set in, and then that whole next week, it's just a panic wave. It's all depending on how you handle the situation. I'm gonna tell you, it's getting crazy up here. It's already gotten crazy. People talking about purge crap and this and that. Now, are some cats in the hood wilding out in the mix of all this? Yeah, that it has something to do with it. That's just the way it is, I guess. In this situation, I can see it clearly. That power's out. People are thieving, and people are just also just wilding out. Especially at nighttime, which sucks for all the people that are just trying to live and to get by. People that got babies, kids, people that need medication, people that can't go anywhere, do anything. 2 weeks with no power, with no backup plan, with no one coming to the rescue at all is really screwed up. The mayor, Eddie Melton, said that there was thousands of people are sitting there with no power. So they're saying that these storms came through, 100-mile-per-hour winds, and it knocked down many trees, damaged many homes and power lines, and that they haven't been able to get the power lines restored yet. How are we at a point like this where people are still sitting there? I think I can get another one here. All right, 2-week electricity blackouts. These power crews shot at in this city, this area. Okay, so they're saying that utility workers at the NIPSCO were scouting the Rutledge Street area when gunfire erupted just after midnight, hitting their jeep. Well, just after midnight. I wouldn't have my crews in there working at midnight. You just don't. Who goes into the hood at especially in the, I don't know. It's just sometimes you got to use your brain, man. Going into the hood at night, what do you expect? Period. And then when I don't know, man. When the electric's out, everyone's gonna be like at their windows. Everyone's gonna be like, kind of like they're not gonna be doing what they normally do. Let's put it that way. Um, you got the man. There's people freaked out bad. I seen a girl knock on the door. Door opens. It's a grandmother, and like she puts the kid down, and she's just sitting there like, "Oh, they're out here wilding out. They're out here like trying to purge, and all this is like what, and blah blah blah." I'm like, no way. Like, I'm gonna check the chat here real quick. Good evening, Dave. Much love, everyone. If you guys have any information, any of these stories, let me know. If you're close, if you've got any info, like if you're close by, you know anything about the situation, if electric's been restored, any chaos, anything going on here. I just think I've seen a lot of talk about people being upset about this. I think it's a long time to be sitting there in the dark with like no plan, no nothing. No one cares to be shipping in, helping any supplies, any of the local people may need it. I don't know, man. Again, management sucks in a lot of these places here. So, it's always something, right? Let's jump into the trade war because it's begun. It's on. Like, get used to like this never ending. Like, Trump is gonna do this the rest of his time. And time's flying by, and here now we're at war basically with Canada. Like, I'm not kidding. They flirted with the idea before, kind of barred back and forth with words, and Trump running his mouth and threats. Most people kind of like, you know, just laughed it off, or thought it was, just Trump running his mouth and wasn't going to be much come of it. Well, Canada has decided to buddy up with China, and this is not good. This is to the detriment of the United States. This is not good at all. Everyone's just had it in their mind that we've got it made, that we're always going to have it made. Everything's going to be peaceful and good and fine and luxurious or whatever. Like, it's not happening. Like, this place is getting torn apart. Mexico is already allied with China. All right. So right there you go. China, Russia, all the enemies. They're not our friend. Cartels running rampant, doing their thing. You can't even go down there. We can't even go down there. Can't go down there for an expedition. I can't do nothing because it's so wild and chaotic. Influencers getting murdered like every other week down there on the live stream. It's nuts. Canada to the north. When I was young, it used to be a place. Oh, you skip out, go up to Canada, Toronto, check it out. Dip into another country. It was different. The dollar went a lot further back then, so you could go up there and kind of live like a king, And back then, the dollar was different. You could do that all over the world. That was the high point of America. Like, we're on the way down, and like our ally here, Canada, right next door, they're going with China, like full scale. They've said it several times, and Trump knows this, and he's like putting it in overdrive. So you've got Trump now threatening 50% tariffs on Canadian goods. And then, of course, they're coming right back. They're trying to play hardball. I'm going to tell you that Trump had his time going around the block, strong arming, trying to bully people. But what's been seen, from what I can tell, is this Iran war kind of It's made it. This isn't America, the Almighty. They can just go to war with whoever they want and win it. Like we're taking an L right now in terms of this whole thing being stifled, and Trump can't really deal with it that well. He don't take losses well at all, and he got us into the mess. Well, I could say Israel got us into the mess, and Trump has kept us there. But like Israel's nowhere even in the mix right now in the talks of anything with Iran. Here we are over here dealing with it, a blockade, our troops dying on the front line, and involved in a situation that is stifling the flow of goods around the world. It's on purpose. It's what I call it's like the grinding wheel. It's the heart of it now. It's begun. And I don't see it going away. Matter of fact, they just fired up the Strait of Tears. They keep throwing more fuel in it every single day. There was just fresh attacks, and they're clamping that down. The only other way out is the Straits of Gibraltar. Um, Up there, and like you have to go all the way around Africa, and then China's trying to control all that. They also control the port right there in Djibouti, which sits right there in the Strait of Tears. There's like a pinch point, just like there's the Straits of Hormuz. It's like a 20, 30 mile pinch point right there. The same thing over on the Red Sea, the Strait of Tears, right there. It keeps getting hit by the Houthis and everything. And there's a port there on the African side, Djibouti, and China went in and did what they do. They hustled them. They ripped them off. They offered them a deal that they knew that they weren't going to be able to pay back. That's what China does. And if that country defaults, well, then China gets to lease the port for like 100 years or like 99 years. Like it's a huge scam. If they go in, offer loans to countries they know cannot pay it back, that will default, and then they get in return these possessions. That's what they're doing. It's scandalous, China, but that's what they're doing. Um, if we get hit, if the lights go out here, if they cyber attack us, whatever this event is going to be, it's coming, it's going to happen because people are not doing anything to stop it. It's going to happen. China is going to become the world leader by default. Just look at the positioning. If we fall off of our perch right now, I told you before, it's a sick world. All of them, they'd be laughing, but they'd send supplies, they'd send help. Like if we got our lights put out, or something, devastating earthquakes, like they try to act like they care, but they don't. America falls, but it's all by design, right? This isn't like, oh, Trump, he just took a hit. Like Trump knows all this. Trump knows this whole thing is going to happen. He is on video saying he is here to reset this place. He hasn't done it yet, but I'm going to tell you, he's in the mix of doing it right now. We're watching him. He knows what he's here to do, and he's doing it. And he also knew that this end was going to be where the gloves come off and where it was time to get nasty. And he's doing it. He don't care to. He'll say screw all of his base because he don't need them. He don't need none of them at this point. Interesting times we are in here. So I'm going to be talking about this trade war. I guarantee you from here on out, it's not going to go away. It's going to get worse. The goods that you are getting are going to go through the roof. They come right across the border. Everything's about to go through the roof. We're going to pay for it. Remember, the tariff game isn't against Canada. It never is. The tariff game is on the people. It always has been. Remember that. Okay. When he says, oh, there's 50% tariff, that means there's a 50% tariff that you, the American, is going to pay on anything that comes through Canada. That's what that means. Let's get it clear, because that's what it means. We pay for the tariff. Okay? Period. So, Carney could turn around and say, oh, but we're going to respond with the 50% tariff on you and try to play hardball. This is where Trump's strong arming is worn off. It's weak. And Carney's calling him. Do you see? Other people are calling him. Just like Iran's like kind of calling him right now, like they called him checkmate. They're like, "Come on, bring it, big boy. Like you want to bomb us, keep bombing us." And they're sitting there snickering, looking off to the side, like you ain't got the missiles to keep bombing. This is a war of attrition. So that's why they said, "We'll go all the way. We'll wait you out. Checkmate, fool." And they do. They got Trump. Checkmated. They got it. They got it. He could spend all the rest of his days here in office in this term bombing the crap out of them. He still won't achieve uh, victory in Iran because you can't. It's built different. It's a different animal, and we have done nothing to it. They've done absolutely hardly nothing. Yeah, they pulled off some decapitation strikes. Yeah, they hit some underground facilities and they've wiped out some of the military, but they quickly rebuilt. They've shown resilience and they're structured and they're ready to ride, man. The blowback on America is coming. You'd be crazy to think not. Um, See, a lot of people out there really hate Trump, man. Really hate the fact that we killed their spiritual leader, Khomeini. And they're going to ride jihad, you watch. Somehow, some way. They know it doesn't. They've hit our bases over there in Kuwait, Bahrain, all those places. They've killed our troops. It doesn't hit the same as if you hit it at home. I'm telling you, when we get hit here at home, that's when they're all going to celebrate. I know it because I remember 9/11. Even though it was a setup, it was celebrated as that. It was the one big time that everyone around the world got to see the beast get hit, so they cheered. And it was a sickening feeling. That's when you knew that you were living in the belly of the beast. It's the same sickening feeling when they're going to war with Iran, and here Iran saying, "Oh, we're going to war against the PETA regime." And here we look, and our leadership is the PETA regime. We are on the wrong, like our we've been sold out. Our representation has done us in. And they're connected at the hip with the Mossad. Like, are you kidding me? Like, we're screwed. Well, yeah. Mossad and Bibi, Israel, are solely responsible for wiping out more people on more war fronts than anyone that you know of living today, right now. That's not a joke. It's not a hateful thing I'm saying. It's a fact. Just look up the numbers. You already know this. Everyone should know this. So it's just a crazy thing. So if you know that Bibi's a bad guy and that Trump's working with them, and like, I don't know, someone comes along and hates them and like attacks America because of it, like everyone's celebrating. It's like there's no celebration for us. It's just like on 9/11. It's like we get attacked in the mix too. It's like our people are the ones that die. Because remember, there was officials. There were innocent people that died, but I will say that all the people that took off on 9/11, Larry Silverstein and every single one of his people from Israel that were not in that building that day. You got to watch for the signs, man. You got to watch the signs. When you see weird things happening, you know, that's all I could say is watch the signs because I feel the next one's about to pop off. So look what we just did. We just launched another operation in this trade war, not on Canada, but against Iran. Bissett calls this Operation Economic Outkast, and basically says that anyone that wants to help Iran is going to get kicked off the dollar system. Anyone that wants to help Iran gets kicked off the dollar system. Hold up a second. This feels like a setup. Like people are gonna say screw you. and screw the dollar system. They're going to stand defiant with a defiant Iran, China, and Russia. They're going to stand behind China, all that. And I'm telling you, country by country, they're gonna say the heck with the dollar system. Like, this is accelerating it. This is like killing the dollar system, which we know they want to do. So this actually benefits percent in them. But this is kind of crazy. This is kicking it off right here, man. This is like lighting the fuse. Um, it is, because all these countries are going to have a choice to make, and any in the region, they're going to side with Iran like they've been doing, or face getting bombed, catch a hypersonic. This is so this whole thing's kind of a stalemate still with Tehran back and forth. Um, Tehran says that U.S. sanctions are a declaration of war on all nations, and they're calling on the entire world to revolt. Everyone. So it's economic war. Like, we are in war. Like, this is war, big time. Like, full economic war, real war, all folded in. Um, what do you think happens, Mir? Do you think things are going to get cheaper? Prices going to go down? I don't think so. I think, we're accelerating, going in the opposite direction, and this ain't good. Um, there's been nothing good thus far that's come from any of the sanctions at all, period. Any tariffs, any of this, it all leads to bad things for us in the economy. And sad thing is I can see, we know where this is going, and the people don't have it together enough to implement a new system. They don't even have a plan. Like, the government is running this thing in the ground. You know that one day the bubble's going to pop. You know that we're massive amounts in debt, 40 trillion and all this, right? Everything needs to be redone and set up and ran the right way. That means you got to do away with the system we're currently in. Okay. Well, they're bringing it down. It's coming down. It's going to come down, and they're going to implement their new digital system full scale. And because the people sat there the whole time and just watched and did nothing, they're going to get away with it. They're going to get away with installing a new digital system. And the people are going to miss their opportunity. Where all they have to do is step in. All they have to do is say, no, we're not doing that. We're going to use this system. But because the people are just sitting there, not being creative, not thinking, not caring, not doing anything, but watching. This is what we get. And thank you, Kev Bar, for that. Yeah, and our bricks. Well, bricks is the counterbalance, right? And it was always meant to be that way. Interesting times. Let's just put it this way. All this war stuff, people turn a cheek to it, but let me tell you, you're bitching at the store when each and everything that you buy is getting more and more expensive. The diesel thing also getting out of control. I'm going to touch on that here in just a second. When we get to Russia, let me point this out real quick on AI. They're trying to say that the AI boom is hitting a reset wall. Like, what? Like, first off, they're going to dump this thing well before the whole herd gets any kind of an inkling that you should sell. They're going to dump on everybody. Well, they're saying right here that the AI boom is hitting a reset wall, and they're pointing out 2027 to 2028, which is not far. And if they've got an insight right there, that means it's going to happen before. And that doesn't leave much time on the clock. All the eggs going into the AI basket is bad news. It's It's unproven as it is. I don't know. I don't know. I can't I can't touch the markets. I told everybody just get out of the markets, 401k, do not be in stocks, get in something physical, get into land that has natural resources, get into metals, things that you can barter and trade hand to hand, but not get caught in any stocks or be in a 401k at this point, no matter what. The AI boom also runs on tungsten. Okay. And all these metals, the supplies, they're squeezing. It was copper last week. And if you can get copper, stack it. Just like gold, silver, stack it. Anything, stack it. You can see here Taiwan tech insiders warning Beijing's germanium squeeze is hitting production. So all these metals, and all these metals are critical in terms of AI, robotics, and everything moving forward. That's another thing in terms of the investment with gold and silver. It's surely going to keep booming in this world of evil people in this climate. And let me remind you of one thing. You go back to the most ancient texts, go back to the Sumerian tablets and Anunnaki and why they created us and this whole thing. And it was to mine gold primarily. Gold production was the key thing here. That tells you that gold, the element of gold on this planet, was critical to the beings that created us in that storyline. Now, hold that thought and stop and look around and notice, observe that all the governments are hoarding one metal. That same yellow metal. You don't think it's the gift to them, do you? Something made you to mine something specific, and it's the one thing you're stuffing your vaults with? People better wake up. Well, a massive trade just happened in gold. The market's buzzing. Let's go over and take a look at the prices because we have liftoff. There we are. Gold 46.84. You can see it took a climb. We were dancing around 4,000. I told you, get it while the get is good. Once this thing lifts, it lifts. And I told you we were down where we were in the 50s. We were in the 50s. And I told you buy, 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 buy. You don't hear me ever say that about anything but this. And I will. I'll show this, I'll show the metals because it's the real and it's what pays. It's what's proven. It's already proven itself. And if you're in the right state, it's tax-free move. If you're in the right setup, and the explosion hasn't even happened yet. $120 silver was just a tease, kind of like a show you what it can do. Still, like that's almost double from where we're at. I'd be making moves, man. I'd still be buying. I'd be loading up on silver, gold, anything. The whole goal here is try to get your hands on 100 ounces of silver stacked. Make it 50. Make it 50. Start 50. Make it 25. Whatever you gotta do. Start somewhere. And once you achieve your goal, go at it again. And I don't think you can go wrong here. Think about it. If you just keep stacking silver on the side quietly, silver, gold, and all that, and think you can, so give it 10 years. I mean, this stuff's going to be insane. It's going to be so much higher, insane levels. You want to talk about a retirement that really can't get swept out from underneath you, like your 401k and all this other crap, have to worry about it. I mean, it's one of the most solid things I could tell you to invest in out there. Again, I see it continuing to grow in increase in price. That also goes with land. Again, I think land with natural gas, coal, blue line water stream, all those things on it. It's almost priceless. I'm gonna be honest with you. You're talking. I've scoured. Okay, whether people talk things in this, I spent years get up early for sunrise, driving out into the mountains of the Appalachian Mountains and scouting and looking. Years. Years. Just climbing mountains looking for the right places. Years. Property after property, property after property, property after property, all these different places. One after another, for whatever reason or another. One thing wouldn't be this or one wouldn't have that. It's so hard to find a setup that has all the survival needs, as I put it. Again, you got natural coal, natural gas, which you can burn and run a gasifier off of and have energy off of right there on the property forever. As long as you're running, the gas is flowing out and you're burning coal, whatever, you can run a gasifier. You can have energy. You can have power forever right there. You get a blue line water stream running through the property. You've got fresh, clean water always flowing, always coming through the property. It's priceless. You can't beat that. I mean, that's if you're wanting to fall back on something survival, water, resources like that. That's critical. And it's going to explode from here. When we look at properties, if you go over to I forget the name of the site. There's a site that go over and check out. It shows. I can click over, like hover over it, and show me who owns the property, the tracks. And you'll see that Blackstone and others have been going through across the country and trying to buy these big, large chunks. And you guys also you see the choppers flying around. They got these big old antenna arrays on the bottom. And those are used to go and to look for water in a lot of these areas. Some connected to data centers, others just connected to people trying to be nosy and figure out what's going on. Imagine a guy sitting there and there's a big 200-acre piece of property and they want to know if something's on it, but all they got to do is fly a helicopter kind of over it with one of these arrays and they can kind of tell, but they don't really have permission to do it. It's not their property. But as long as they're not on the property, they're not trespassing. See, that's the gray area there. So they can fly in down to like a foot off the ground, right over the property, scan everything, and then dip out. And they get the goods. They know the data will tell them, well, dude, there's a huge water source underground, huge oil source, whatever. They'll know that. Then they'll be like, all right, we're buying it. And they're going to get it cheap because the people selling it don't know that it's there. You see? Always do your research. If you have any property for you, just give it up on mineral rights and everything else. You could sell the property and keep the mineral rights. Those mineral rights itself can keep you fed for the rest of your days. Put it that way. So I'm just talked about the whole Canada thing. I'm going to keep it pushing here. This one's on China. I just want to show you what they're doing with these bots. They're taking over. They're saying they're going to take over sports and all this stuff. But in this clip, this thing is sitting here playing tennis, and they're saying that it's gotten pretty good. These bots are getting really good at doing anything that they train them to do. That is a freaking army. The booster T2, this is scary. If this is coming at you, like, you're done. Like, you have to come up with a tactical way to take these things out. Like, we need to get busy. We need to get our thinking caps on and start putting a little bit of thought into how we're gonna eliminate these guys, because I see one coming up the road. I mean, they're in formation. I instantly think of like a bowling ball, like a bowling pin. I just want to send something down, just knock them all down, knock them out. But they get back up. When you've got a bunch of them, I said it before, you're probably going to have to pin them down. You're going to have to like park a car on them or something like, um, or they're going to be moving. And they got guns, they got weapons, they got lasers, they got all this stuff. This is a nightmare. It's a nightmare that people are not even ready for. It's like being brought to you by your own kind that has sold you out. Yeah. The Terminator thing, very real threat. And I'll be interested to see when they really start showing us them using them on the battlefield. Oh, man, I seen a clip today. I take that back. I seen it today. I seen it in the feed. It was in Ukraine. Ukraine rolled this robot in. It smashed in a spot. It just wiped out this whole platoon of Russian troops. It was a robot. It like on wheels. Like it's sickening. That war. I've seen a lot of craziness over the years, man, but the Ukraine war, the slaughtering on both sides is just insane. Okay. And it's on par with what's happening, everywhere Israel goes. But let me jump into a couple other headlines here. We have the fugitive wife, Karen Solomon, who fled home after her cop husband was murdered. She was found dead now behind a rehab clinic. So Karen Solomon fled her Massachusetts home after police issued a warrant for her arrest in connection to the death of her husband, Kurt Solomon. Monday afternoon, they announced that they were at the Fair Lawn Rehabilitation Hospital where they found her body. So she had something to do with the death of her husband there, and not good. So she's deceased. Next one is the San Francisco 49ers owner Jed York filed for a divorce from his wife of 15 years just a few months ago, and then gets busted here in a huge prostitution sting. This took place at the Wheat Hill Mobile Home Community in East Palestine, Ohio. The hell? He's booked into the Columbiana County Jail. He was released on a $5,000 bond. But caught up in a prostitution ring. These guys, man, like, what are they doing out in East Palestine in some trailer park with some hoes? Like, San Francisco 49ers owner, like, or whatever, like, what in the hell? All right, it's about as odd as this next one. The Moleman return. Now, this is different from the Jew guys that were coming out of the tunnels, because we still don't know what they were doing. We don't know for sure what any of these guys were doing. Maybe you got some details out there, but after investigations, track records of groups, with this story, there's no proof that there's been any vandalism, any crimes committed, that they're sabotaging anything, that they're down there planting explosives, that they're down there trying to destroy the water system, or anything like that, because officials have gone down and checked. They said that there's absolutely nothing going on. And people are like, hold on, something's happening. Guys are coming up out of the sewers. This is Manhattan, 4 a.m. And we're looking at Mario, they said. And they all go and change and get the vehicles and leave, right? You want to know what they think is really happening here? Because people have actually been, there's been cases, documented cases, where they've caught people down in these sewers doing some things. And it wasn't like I said, vandalizing or anything. But let me see if it says right here. The leading explanation offered by sources was scavenging. Men hunting for coins, wallets, jewelry, scrap metal, guns, anything that they can get that washes into the city's 7,400 miles of sewer pipes. Imagine dead bodies and everything else. The theory has history. In 2015, a part-time city worker and two companions were arrested after spending 4 hours in Brooklyn sewers looking for gold, jewelry, and guns. They got arrested there. Well, these guys are just like, I don't know. Is it a crime? What did they get arrested for? They don't say. I'd like to know, because if they got arrested, why are these guys not getting arrested? Another observer says that the groups appear way too sophisticated and that there's something else going on, that it seems too fishy. That it's more than just exploration in all this. The Department of Environmental Protection Services has been consistent on one point: unauthorized entry. Okay, here we go. Unauthorized entry is both illegal and extremely dangerous. So there you go. If they do get caught, they go to jail. Toxic gases, sudden flooding, structural collapse, complete lack of cell service make the system a death trap for unprepared people. Plus the sewer rats, Ninja Turtles, all that stuff might get you. I don't know, man. It's just kind of weird. It does remind me of the Jews popping up out, but that was some of these other stories in the past has been connected to like human trafficking and stuff like that. But again, you got to be able to prove some of these things. There's going to be questions always swirling. It also depends on the area, where you're talking. I suppose someone, if they really wanted to, they could go down, they could go look, see what's down there, or they could go pull some also some city maps at the library, and it should show you all that. But anyhow, if you guys see any mole men, let me know. Gators, yeah, all that. Who wants to be down there with all that? Like, it's not worth it, man. I think you'd have better luck taking a metal detector to the beach, dude. Like, I don't know, man. Like, all right, so, all right, we've got Michigan clerks stepping up in terms of this whole voting thing, and this is critical. We're coming up on midterms. It's all boring crap to me because it's all rigged. If it actually stood for something, it'd be different, but it's all rigged. The whole game is. You've got some people out here that still believe in it, believe that their vote counts and this and that, which is just beyond me. But if you just take it at face value, you have a system that has a bunch of illegals in it. And first off, if someone's illegal, how can they ever even cast a valid vote? How could it ever be? You've got these people saying, screaming to the feds, come remove these illegals from our voter rolls. Like, how are they there to begin with? If they're not proven to be a legal citizen, they should never be able to cast a vote, period. But it's happening left and right. More than what you would think, especially in the blue states.
Hello, my name is David Olson, clerk at Hastings Charter Township in Barry County, Michigan. My county sheriff, Darleaf, had received a report today and disseminated that information that an employee at the Secretary of State advised him and said that there was proof that when a non-citizen changes their address, programming automatically registers the non-citizen to vote. When that state employee advised their supervisor, the supervisor's response was, it's okay because that will be caught downline by the clerks. That is not correct. Once it's in the qualified voter file, there's no way for me to verify citizenship, and therefore they are automatically issued a ballot or an absentee ballot.
Well, that's key.
So, since it is my responsibility to safeguard the qualified voter file for our township, according to MCL 168.151 and MCL 168.520, I'm asking if the federal government is interested to help verify my citizen role. I would be welcome to have them here. I will safeguard my voter role in the office, but they are certainly welcome to come and compare against mine. In this way, we will uphold our federal elections. We will definitely follow law, and it will be fair and honest. Thank you.
So that's an example of one situation right there, but then you also got one more here.
Hello, my name is Sarah DeBoer. I'm the clerk of Climax Township in Kalamazoo County, Michigan. Today I am joining with other clerks across the state of Michigan, calling for federal assistance in verifying the citizenship status of those on our voter rolls. Under MCL 168.515 and MCL 168.520. I am asking for this to be done legally and in my office to ensure that the voter files are protected under Michigan law. Recently, a whistleblower who was an employee at the Secretary of State's office came forward alleging that the Secretary of State is registering non-citizens to vote. Contrary to what the supervisor of that employee told them, local clerks have zero ability to verify the citizenship status of anyone in the qualified voter files. So I am asking for federal assistance to do my duty as a local clerk to ensure that those who are registered to vote are also legal citizens. Absentee ballots go out on September 24th and time is running short. So I look forward to hearing from someone and working with someone from the federal government very shortly. Thank you very much.
I'm showing you this because these people are voter rolls in all these situations are inundated with illegals, and it's so absurd and out of hand. They're calling on the government to come in and clean it up, but yet, I mean, this is a Trump administration that you think would have been all over this, but they're not. Yeah. We've got a New York Times journal here admitting that the DSA wants to take out the entire Constitution. So see how these people think here.
Democrats in the House that I talk to are really worried that if they don't pick up a dozen seats, they're going to be beholden to the new squad and this handful of Democratic socialists who will essentially have veto power over the entire Democratic establishment agenda. That's a big concern.
Yeah.
Will they? They will.
Well,
yeah,
if it's a slim majority, just like you're seeing on the right with the Tea Party, and a little bit less so now, if it's a slim majority, minority rules on it within the party.
And they're not running to be members of the Democratic Party. They're running, many of them anyway, as Democratic socialists. It's a totally different political organization. And in fact, they want to take out the Democratic Party. I mean, that's their stated goal. They not only want to take out the Democratic Party, they want to take out the entire constitutional system.
Oh, there you go. That says that right there. They want to take out the whole constitutional system. And that's the problem here. The more I think about it, this is more they're looking to do more than just an economic reset here. Like they're setting up to like reset the country, like the foundations. And like normally to do that, like you need a war. Either that or you need such a massive event that you rock the whole country, like lights out, countrywide, something like that, devastating. It pains me to even show you this, but it could become a reality, and I'm a realist, and no matter what, we got to, even though things suck, you got to be prepared to deal with things. This says the date is August 20th, 2032, and we're nearing the end of AOC's first presidential term in this country is gone. And it may be exactly what they want to finish it off. Trump started warp speed and handed the whole thing off to the Biden regime. And it's like, with a reset of this size and this length, would it be done under Trump's administration? I guess only time's going to tell. But at this point, it could very well be drug out into years. And by 2030, 2032, this place would be dead. It'd be a slow kill. We'd bleed out. Seems like that's where we're going with this right now. It could accelerate, and Trump could just do a quick reset here on his watch and get the accolade for it, which is very possible, and what I've been watching the whole time, because that's what the whole Mar-a-Lago Accord is about. That doesn't have anything to do with AOC. That's all him. He's gonna want that. He wants that accolade. I'm telling you. So that's not good for us, because it just means the reset's coming. Like, we've been preparing for so long. This is gonna rock metals. How can it not? The price points on everything. Gold's gonna go bananas at this point. Silver's gonna go nuts. All those things are gonna lift. There will be a day in the future. Anybody that invested in those metals, man, you're gonna be a very happy camper. I'll tell you that. Let's jump into this talk of well, I'm not going to show, and I haven't been showing anything to do with the WNBA stuff, because, well, for one, the copyright stuff here on YouTube with any of the sports crap is ridiculous. Over on other sites, I could like cover, whatever, and show whatever. But I can't show you, the sports clip, so they get hit. This is the way it's always been. But there's a lot of controversy going on right now in the WNBA. It has to do with some trauma, is how I see it. Some it's just like anything else. How much of it is staged, orchestrated, designed, prodding the energy of the people to feed off of them. All that. How much of it is like real issues? Well, there's some big issues here. When you start muddying the waters so bad that you can't really even define anything, even the other side can't define anything, like what a woman is, well, then that's bad. Okay, that's where we're at. So the WNBA, what we've got apparently is they're saying that these men that are trying to step up and jump in can't. You're trying to like kick them out, and so we'll say that they can't enter the draft, and like why can I not? They're trying to force them to try to give some kind of statement on the whole situation, which they're like refusing to do here. But there's also more to it than that. The ones that are standing up for like girls, Sophie Cunningham, for instance, Caitlin Clark, those two play for, I believe, the Fever, Indiana Fever. I would say that these names of these individuals are shared out there, especially, let's say, the Sophie Cunningham. Not so much because the best ball player that's ever been seen out there, but because of the political stance taken, saying that no, like there should not be a guy out here on the court with us girls competing. It's not fair. It's not fair. But see, that's the debate right there. So I think it's just absolutely horrendous, and it cheats all of your girls. It cheats all of them out of any records, the record books, any titles, and out of anything. It cheats them. And I've got a fix for it. 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 I' just put them in their own class. Just that simple. Put them in their own class. Just that simple. Go run with others like you. And you can have a whole league and be happy with it. Right? They'll come intrude in other people's. Then you're not intruding. Or to stick to, see, they don't want to stick to the man because they get smoked in it. So they got to go intruding on the girls, trying to make themselves feel better and steal their thunder and everything else. And that's garbage. Because your daughters deserve to be getting gold medals and deserve to take first place in things that they're the best at, in that category. You see? Again, I gave you the answer. Give them their own division. Give them their own. Seriously, give it to them. Give it to them. Give them their own. People want to go watch, support it, whatever. Give them their own bracket. Give them their own, the trans league, whatever. Seriously, give it to them, and no one can bitch. But you're not going to have that on these higher levels. Like, just I don't know. I'm going to play this clip here from Mar on this.
In tune with what their voters really cared about. Guess what? They don't care about corporate tax rates.
And the Democrats made it a lot easier for them by harping on cultural issues where the country thought they had lost their minds.
That's right.
I feel like the elections we're having these days are still that. It's like a couple that's having an argument and they're not having the same argument. The Democrats are arguing economic issues and the Republicans are arguing cultural issues. The Democrats are saying these guys are crooks and inflation is still high. We can do better and we can give you health care. And the other people are saying, yeah, but they want to get rid of Thanksgiving. We like Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then they can't define a woman, and they think, the WNBA should be full of men. And, they just crazy stuff. And so they kind of opened the door for that.
So when you got that side making these statements, because he's left-leaning, yeah, it kind of says it. These days, I'm seeing more and more points, talking points, things I hear that both people from the so-called left and right both agree on, actually. Data centers is one. Flock, as we said before, they just said he was just talking about another example. I'm trying to find ways out here, a common ground to gather people against the beast. It's the only way. Let me go on to this next one. An update on Ceuta. This is the Spanish colony on the north side of Africa that keeps getting stormed, and it looks like they're going to keep doing this. There's some kind of organized plot here to keep sending waves of migrants in that obviously will not assimilate. They're pissing and crapping all over the beach and stealing people's pets and snatching the birds and cats and everything they can, eating everything. It's chaotic. I know one quick way that would stop this. If you had your military sitting right there with the guns, full blown automatics right there on the shoreline, when these boats came in, I mean, isn't that what you got a freaking military for? This what's going on. Boats are coming in. I'm like making a call, get the guys, get everything together, and like the orders are, go down, secure the beachfront. These boats come in, they're smoked. These are enemy invaders coming in. I'm just gonna sit there and watch them run up the beach. Like, I don't think so. I'll be chucking beer bottles at them. I'll be doing whatever, dude. Like, people granny spat, they're tripping them, beating them with the cane. I don't care. You see these illegals coming in, they are invaders. Everybody and their mama on the beach mobbing. Like, No way I'm just sitting there watching. Like, especially day after day, you're just watching an invasion come in. He said the same dude's gonna be creeping in your back door here in the next week because you didn't do nothing. That's right, because that's how it works. All right, let's go to the Strait of Tears real quick. Houthis attack an oil tanker in the Red Sea. You're going to hear more of this. They're ramping up, and they shut down this lane. Pain's going to be... So Iran, they say, is losing its grip on Hormuz. I don't, again, buy none of this until I see some solid action. One thing we are watching, and one thing to watch, is the ship activity. Okay? There was 200 ships that navigated the strait last week, but that was for the whole week. That's up from 150 the previous week. So it was 50 more ships went through in a week's time. It's a slight uptick, but I'm not sure. It seems like we're in a stalemate with this whole thing until something gives here, which could be any day, any time. This one says Trump turned the tables on Iran. But then it says, or is another round of war coming? Well, how do you think this goes? Like, does it do us any good to wage any war at all? Like, none. There's like no, there's nothing there. We got nothing out of everything we've done thus far. We've gained no ground. We've done nothing. This would be, I don't see it happening, honestly. I see him, you know what I could see him doing is an FF event that gives them an excuse to pound them real hard and hit some key locations real hard and then quit. That's still not going to be victorious. But, all Trump keeps saying all the time is like, they will not have a nuclear weapon. Thank you very much for your time. It's like, dude, that's a weak excuse. That's your WMD crap. Like, no one's buying it. No one cares at this point. You've got Kim Jong-un down there that actually has nukes and is firing off rockets left and right. You don't give a damn. Hypocrite. This world's a show. It is. It's all. That's why they call them theaters of war, man. Also, if you missed it, Iran-linked hackers, which we don't know if it was from Iran, could have been from anywhere. They shut down the UK power generator for multiple days. So for 4 days, it looks like here, one of the main power plants shut down because of cyber attack. Remember, we're getting our water places hit here. It's constantly something cyber, so I expect a combo at some point, right? What's this one? Well, this is interesting. This is the latest threat, direct threat from Iran onto the Trump family, and it is on Barron Trump. I covered this in a video here earlier. They put out a news piece, mostly AI, and it shows Barron sitting in different locations, playing video games, and it basically is pointing people in the direction in the video, those that are watching, on how to get him, and that they got a bounty on him for $10 million. Yeah. $10 million bounty put on his head. And it doesn't, say who's paying that or anything else, but this is the threat that was thrown out there. So targeting Barron specifically is just it's Oh, they say that he's nothing special, that if Trump can try to erase their entire civilization, every child, then, like, what is it for this kid to be targeted? Is what they're saying. Um, the threats fly. They just keep doing it. We've seen them on Trump big time and others, but now specifically Barron with this a bounty on his head. We're in open war right now. Crazy situation. You got this, and BB's got an international criminal arrest warrant out for him, and all this other stuff. And world is a stage. Let's go to Ukraine, Russia, real quick, where Macron of France is vowing to fast track more missile interceptors to Ukraine. It's just never ending. Russia says they're scrambling to restore fuel supplies because the refineries are getting hit. And this is causing the diesel crack to run. And it's going to continue. It just turned back up again. And once it breaks this high, you're in uncharted territory. And they, in a war type of setting right now, Russia is not quickly rebuilding like anything. Like, these hits have been devastating. The refineries that have been wiped out, they're trying to get things rebuilt, but this affects the diesel price globally. So, we're coming up here now, the second half of summer. We're in the second half of summer, coming up on the end. I don't see this war winding down on any front, in Iran, in Ukraine, any of them. But you got rumors here of a couple different things in terms of Russia. I think it's kind of interesting because they're kind of screaming over here, like, what do we do now? Like, they're out of options. It's like kill, 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 or what? Like, it's almost like they're signaling that they're tired of like the kill, kill, kill. Although they say that Kiev just opened Pandora's box by striking economic targets inside of Russia, because this pisses the people off now. The Amazon warehouses, so to speak, are getting hit. All these places are stifling the way of life for Russian people, and it's causing problems now. Russia is like, okay, now you're going to get it. But they turn around and they say to the U.S., hey, you got any new ideas on how to end this thing? I think that's about as blunt and as straightforward as you're going to get with it. Hey, like, when is enough enough? Like, we can keep going back and forth and keep doing this all day and just slaughtering guys every single day. But, like, really, like, because at some point here, when missile supplies start to run thin and things really do start to get sketchy, the nukes start to get chambered and ready for use. And once they really start thinking about using these nukes, tactical nukes, anything like that, like, it's already over. Because the simulations, man, once these nukes fly, even tactical, there's maybe they do have the technology to detect how much of a nuclear, whatever is in a warhead, how much is in there, but I don't know. They have the capability to detect when nukes are launched, they say, right? So, I don't know, man. It's sketchy. It's a sketchy territory with nukes here, because just the smallest amount is used in the wrong way, and someone could just unleash a large amount, and it's over. So, speaking of weapons, let me point out here one of the scariest, deadliest weapons that I think is out there. I dub it the tsunami bomb. It's the Poseidon doomsday weapon, which can unleash tsunamis. They launched it for the first time from a submarine carrying nuclear torpedoes capable of unleashing tsunamis here. They did this in sea trials in the White Sea. 10,000 ton submarine pushing these things. But this is a coast killer, coastline killer, not just a city killer. Coastline killer. Launch one of these things, I don't know, say due east off of Jersey Boardwalk. It's going to send a tsunami all the way up and down the East Coast. Like, I mean, just both directions. It's going to crush so many cities. It's a weapon that you cannot stop. You can't shoot it down. Once they launch it from the sub, it's over. Once they launch it, it's over. It's like if they choose to do it, you can't stop it. You cannot stop it. You will not be able to stop it. It's a real deal weapon. And I could see it being used. It would have devastating consequences, especially to an East Coast that is low-lying, that would just get inundated with water. It depends on where they do it. Up north, you got higher ground. You get down to like Florida and things like that. If you do it down by Florida, a 25-foot tsunami wave could like steamroll most of Florida. Like, not good. Not good. You're never going to stop that. Just one time, it's going to imagine how many cities in just Florida alone, all the way up and down that coastline. It's not going to stop there. Georgia's going to get hit, Carolinas, Charleston, Savannah, all those major cities, port cities, everything wrecked. And that's what you would probably do strategically. You would do it east of major ports, I would think. If you really want to wreck things, send the tsunami into the ports and just smash everything. And of course, anything low lying. So, I don't know, man. If they do that, man, like, we're in World War, so I guess anything's possible. Most people here just living, cruising right on through every day like we're not. It's kind of turning a cheek to it. We jump to the last threat here on the war front, which is Turkey and Israel. I mention this because this is really the last. This is it. This is the last of the Mohicans. Why does this matter? Well, for us and our fate, it seems that like Iran said it in that one video, that Lego video, that like they're going to hit a reset button and they're going to put our lights out, and it's going to be Israel who does it, and that they save the best for last, like for us, like we're last on the list, like dealing with us after they deal with Turkey. Like they need to use us up as they're doing to wage all these wars and then turn around and say to hell with us. And just like I said, their own video, they don't care about us. They do not care about us, our way of life, our way of being. And we're in a bad spot here with these wars connected with Israel. Trump himself said that Turkey is no pushover. They're like a big bully on the block. They're not like these smaller countries, so to speak. He's basically saying Syria, you ran Assad out of the country. He was weaker. But you're not going to do that to Erdogan. Like, he is going to stand firm and, like, they'll drop bombs on you in return. They'll fight. They'll come hard. And I believe they will. I believe this is stupid. I believe this has got to stop. Like Netanyahu, these people, they've got to stop. The world's got to call to stop them. Someone's got to stop them. Has got to stop them from waging war. There has got to be peace at some point, but the problem is at that point, false peace, and they got to create a chaotic enough climate to where their chosen one steps in. Even the Muslims believe that the return of the Mahdi, it's got to be in a chaotic climate. So they're looking at this whole thing as like potentially the climate that could usher in that figure. You see? All right. And then done with the war stuff here. Figure here in the last segment, last piece here tonight, I will Jet says Turkey will obliterate Israel. May. Well, that all comes down to the biblical stuff. And I'll end with some stuff on that. There's some talk here about they just uncovered a lost world beneath the Egyptian desert. And it kind of proves what a bunch of us already knew anyway, that there was a lot of water in that area. Just like where I'm at now. And it's pretty crazy. If you look up Kentucky, ancient Kentucky was like the Bahamas. Pretty wild. You'll find shells and fossils and shark's teeth and all this stuff in like mountaintops and hillsides because that's what was here. And when you look it up, it's trippy. But that's what this area was like. It was like ancient Bahamas, how they like subtropical or tropical, whatever. Totally different than what it is like right now. So we know that the Sphinx is super old, and that you can look at the images where it's buried in sand, and it was like that for a long time. It has water erosion on it, in significant amounts. So that's one thing, but you're talking what they're saying here now is like, you're talking like exactly what I was just telling you, like oceans, big sharks, like all kinds of big water stuff was there. And we know this, like water was running right up to the pyramids, right there next to it, because I believe it's how they operate. It was part of how they operate, the whole system. That was a massive free energy or like energy generation power station, designed by Thoth. Broken. What's crazy is it could be restored, and that would be insane. That would be awesome. That would be like something we could do, like legendary, like, as a people, but not with bad people in charge. They won't let it happen. This whole planet is controlled on energy. And this was the whole reason for shutting down Tesla and JP Morgan Chase and metering your house, making everyone slaves. They go fixing the pyramid and telling you what it really is, which the truth is slowly coming out, like officially, because they came out and they told you there's a mega structure underneath of it now. It's one huge power generator, coiled down to the earth, grounded into the earth, which is, if people really knew and like they taught the true history of it, it's astounding. It's amazing. And then you look around the planet and you can see that they went to many other places, did the same thing. And this whole place was set up like that. It was set up on an energy structure, natural energy structure, off the ley lines. And they've stifled it. But they could come and they could replate the pyramid. Could you imagine that? Recode it, recap it. get the water flowing through, get the thing flowing again, get the lights kicked back on, and boy, wouldn't that be something? Do some crazy things, but they lie, they lie. Okay, so that brings me to the firmament. Well, let's see here. Let me check in. Where are we at here? It's been a minute. Let me get a time check. 10 till top of the hour. I'm gonna try to open up an image here real quick. If I can, and I don't think it's gonna let me. Try one time here. Come on. It's not opening. I'm trying to open up a image to share with you guys here so I can show you something. All right, well, I'll just go with this. Exit this out. Not what I was really wanting. There we go. All right. This have to work for me to explain some of these things here. Okay, so much love everybody out there. Here tonight, I get a request out there for these things specifically. It's like I get my emails and like I get a lot of people that ask me about this stuff. And so I want to make sure to hit on some things here. Yeah, we can't even fix the roads properly, huh? Tartaria is key. It is. And thank you. I'm just looking at some of the comments real quick. Much love to everybody out there. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. What's up, Steve? OG Gamer, Mr. Know-It-All, Paul. Much love, everybody. Hope you're doing well here tonight. Covered the news, so to speak, and going to shift gears into some talk here about what I covered in a video I dropped on the firmament with these images. And when I talk about some of these things, the images, I think, go a long way because they help you to see, kind of visualize what's going on here. This is a touchy subject, a highly debated subject. You know, how is this place constructed? What is it made of? The firmament. This is really one of the biggest subjects I think that is out there because I mean it's huge. I mean, what is the reality of this place? The construction, the true nature of it, you know, all those things. I think we all want to know the truth. What's crazy is when you go looking throughout history, and I'm not talking going and watching a bunch of flat Earth YouTube videos, which there's good information to glean from many different things. But I'm talking about just going into the ancient texts because I like to stick with that specific because they didn't have anything in mind to like lie to me as I say it. Like, oh, I'm gonna lie to Dabu way up in 2026. And so let's put this in clay tablets in the form and just make sure that everybody holds on to this at the end of time just so you can lie to Dabu in the end. Now, I don't think so. from what I see, a lot of this ancient stuff was stuff that someone tried to erase, and we got lucky that those fragments were discovered. Like in Qumran, um, the Dead Sea Scrolls, everything that someone tried to take away. The Ethiopian Bible is key because they did not get erased like the rest of the world did. They stood their ground, actually won their war against Italy, and kept the cannons that everyone else was taking out. Well, those cannons held the Book of Enoch and a bunch of others that are critical, that tell the story of this place. Now, I mentioned the Book of Enoch a lot, and I did the video here recently on it, talking about the firmament here, and this is why I want to touch on this, just kind of recap on it, because I've noticed this is mentioned in many different scripture. And again, I'm all about trying to find things that like overlap, overlay, correlate, because then you got something. Just like the flood. If they're all talking about a flood story, even if the character's name's different, then I know that we're on to something. They all seen a flood. See what I'm saying? So the same thing applies with this place and how it's made. And I'm not just looking for guessing. I'm going for what ancients said. That's it. That's all. That's it. I'm going for what Jesus and other prophets out there have spoke on and said about this place. And, you can't get any more legendary also outside of Enoch. Enoch was taken to be with God, didn't even die, so was transformed, all that amazing in itself. But the story, which is a long one, it hits on the structure of the sky and of this place, and it does so pretty quickly, pretty technically on point. And this is what it does. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tell you. I'll say this also: the Egyptians, they showed the god Nut strung over the sky like a big bow, firmament. Its toes and fingertips touching on both sides. So the Egyptian culture showed the firmament. Okay, right there in that instance. Okay, in Revelation, your Bible says in the end that the sky rolls up like a scroll. This is the removal of a barrier that is there, the firmament, and enter a new heaven and a new earth. The sky rolls up like a scroll. This is prophecy. This is written. This is in your Revelation, which is in your canon. Okay, so Sumerians tell you that it sits right at where they give you a length in the sky where it sits. They took an astronomical length, and it's right at where the Van Allen belts begin. How is this? How is this that I just told you 4 different historical things that speak on this? You see, this is what I look for. So no one else can come and say, "Oh, this place is built like a triangle." I learned of it. Like no. I'm just saying that as an example. I am looking for this, the substance, and I found it in different cultures. I found the overlapping evidence as an investigator is what I'm telling you. And there's a dome here. There's a firmament. There's something there. Okay. In Enoch, of all of them, told you in detail. He says there are 12 gates. There are gates in the firmament, and there's someone assigned to every gate. And that they are responsible for the passing of the sun through the gates at the precise second, as well as the moon, as well as the stars on the course. Okay? So Enoch states. He was shown this, taken up, shown all the stuff, Uriel, Raphael, showed him the workings of this whole place. And he's seen that there's also gates for the winds that control the winds of everything. Again, everything timed. Anything and everything that goes down is in a timed manner because someone is in control of these gates. Okay? He's seen it. He was shown it to document it and tell us. This is what it says. Okay? He goes on to state that there will be a time where the sun and the moon move their course. They leave their course. I believe it's Enoch 79. It says that the moon will shift off of its course, and the sun and other luminaries will shine brighter and be an offset course. It will be off. Everything will be off. And that's super interesting to me. And when speaking about all of this. So again, gates, he says that at this time, when everything is off, the people, the ones that are set at these gates to wash it, they will basically be told to not do their job, to let it come undone. It'd be like the undoing, the unraveling, and things will start to go astray. This is what Enoch says. How he explains it, because he was shown. Now, he says that this great divide separates the waters above from the waters below from here. We're in a bubble. And he says it. What's outside are the forever deep, dark, primordial waters. The ether. And that here we are within this, call it a bubble, call it a dome. I really don't think you're going to get far arguing on it at this point. He's telling you right here the construction of it more than anyone, more than any YouTuber, any other person out there. Enoch, the one that went with God, went and saw the construction of this place, the way it was built, the way it works, and told you specifically, detail for detail, but people are morons out there and waste their time out there doing other things than seeking knowledge. And like a night like tonight, this has slipped past them. They should be knowing these things. Here, this man and all these others told us about how this place works, and it's right there. It's not a secret. It's not an if. It's not like, I'm going with this. I'm going with, okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got all this stacked up. I'm going with this. It's a good look with whatever the hell you're going with and whatever you got, because it doesn't stack up to this. You know, all these cats are describing the same type of structure. Now, he also says, this is a cat that's sitting on the edge of wiping this planet out with a flood. He described this planet getting wiped out and that the gates of the heavens open. Also, the gates of the abyss open. Both. And this is what flooded the world out. But these gates are real. And he says that these gates are what let anything in. And like if anything's going to happen, it's coming through these gates. He also references what's on the other side. And I think it's crazy. It's pretty wild. Now, I'm saying that, and now I'm looking over here on the left. Let me shift over to the Sumerians again to rebuff it from there. What happened with the whole story? The Sumerians is older than any of it. It's older than your Babylonian. Well, the Babylonian cup sprung up there in the same region via Marduk here, but Egypt and all that came later. Mayan civilization, all that later. All this stuff, Enoch, Jesus, all that later. The Sumerians show that Marduk had a battle with Tiamat. And Tiamat was the creature, the serpentess queen or whatever of the underwater world. And he battled and slayed her. And he took her body and split it like a shellfish, as it's described, and used it and bowed it up to create the skies in heaven, a firmament, a bow in the heavens. And that's what this image is showing here on the left of him doing that. And you can see the structure above. Now, this structure is mentioned by all of them. And it's also mentioned that there will be a time where it is removed. That is freaking wild. Again, Revelation, the sky will roll up like a scroll. Look no further, it's been under your nose the whole time. I just give you many ways to rebuff it. And that's what I look for. It's what you should look for too. And that's what I find here. So it's the same thing with many things. Like I said, with the flood, the stories overlap. The same thing here. The details overlap. That's what I'm looking for. Those are the goods. And I look into it deeper if it's something that piques your interest. In the flesh, the only thing that I know to do is to try to launch a weather balloon with cameras and see what we see. The hell with their lies. I'd love to launch a rocket with a CubeSat satellite, whatever. We were close years ago, but cats ended up being fraudulent and it didn't happen. But where there's a will, there's a way. We got exciting space events coming up, in my opinion, that we can lock onto. We have the moon events coming up. We have a lot of launches up to the moon, Artemis, and we should be able to watch them and track them. If we can't, we got a problem. Huge problem. I got a funny feeling we may have a big problem because the last Artemis trip they just took up and around the moon, not one freaking photo on the planet of them going around the moon. Not one. Just think about that. Just think about that. I'm not talking about the object that smashed in. Right, that was a whole different situation there too in itself. But yeah, I'm watching Artemis from here. Artemis also, look at everything that we're doing here. They're paying homage to the fallen. Artemis is the twin sister of Apollo. Okay, these are the fallen. These are the exact fallen. We're telling, these are the fallen that stem from Sumeria. Remember, when you go to the ancient Romans, when you go to the ancient Greek, they all had different names for these gods, but they were the same gods. The same god of lightning, or the same god of the sun, or the same. You see what I'm saying? Just with different names, and it's wild, man. The pantheon of gods coming down here, and the giants that stem from it, and all that. It obviously came. It happened. It's the truth. It's what I see as the truth. It's what happened. It's our history, and they know it. This is why when you go, this is who they worship. Look. It's no longer a secret. We figured this thing out thoroughly, okay? For the most part, through and through. I mean, it's who they worship. Just look at Trump himself. He doesn't worship Jesus. He's not a Christian, as he says. He wears this little black cap over there, whatever. But what he really worships is what you see adorned in his houses, in his homes, and that is the fallen. It just is. Go look. You won't find Jesus. You won't find nothing but Apollo, Zeus, Artemis, and the fallen on the walls, on the tables, and on the freaking ceiling, painted like a cathedral, all sitting around up in the clouds. He worships the fallen. All right. These entities came down here, man. The story's clear. Doesn't matter, again, the different names from the different lineages, they're all the same thing. Okay? What do they call her? Enhana? And India, I always mess her name up. The female entity that came down, that spawned, because Enlil had offspring and Inky had offspring. Inky had which you would know as Marduk, also associated down through Egypt, the Egyptian line as Amun-Ra. And then you have Thoth, which is legendary Thoth, which countered Marduk and many different things in the stories. But you have Inanna, that's the name, Inanna, which came down and descended to Earth. And then listen to the story. She descended to the seven spheres again. Why do seven spheres keep getting brought up over? Because I'm going to tell you, it's part of the structure. And it's been mentioned over and over in different cultures in different ways. And I'm going to tell you, it's real. It's part of it. The same way. The seven spheres, the seven levels of it. Okay? Even Jesus spoke of this in the book of Mary and everything. This mirrors a lot of that. Remember, this was before Jesus, okay? And they say, oh, you hear all this stuff of what people worship and Tammuz and all this. But she came down through 7 layers, and through every gate, she had to give up something off of her. When she got down into the material realm and got here, her wicked sister threw her on a hook and killed her. They were pissed, and they wanted her back, and they resurrected her. They got her back, but there's rules to the game, and you'll find this out in the story that there has to be a replacement. So Tammuz had to go in replacement of her. It's how it had to be, so they could resurrect and have her back, because she was so special to them. Okay, like. It's crazy. And who is she? Who is she also? Who do you also know her as? Who is she that you do not realize she is? She is Ishtar. She is Isis. Dude. At some point here, you're going to see it full circle. This is the beauty of I guess, I don't know. I love it. The fact that just something took me down this road a long time ago. I knew at some point something's got to give. And like here it all is stacking up, proven. It's just nuts. So these things, these people, these whatevers, they're really huge role in everything here with us. Obviously, and it's not a secret. They try to keep things a secret, but not anymore. You know, there may be a time here coming, and as soon as this event pops off, you're never going to get this knowledge like this again. Even 5 years from now, you would think, oh, in the future, we have a chance for more knowledge. Not necessarily. Not when the event happens and they clamp down, and you got to be a part of a beast system just to get onto the internet or anything else. It's coming in the future. And all this type of knowledge be gone. Remember what they're doing out there. Amazon caught snatching up books right now, ripping the spines off of them, scanning and burning them. And like they're book burning. They're like erasing history, manipulating history with their AI. And it's something that I've been into and will continue to stay on is a collector of ancient texts. If you guys got anything like that, let me know. Dabu7@yahoo.com. Just always interesting to see what people got out there. You never know what you're sitting on. And a bunch of these older books, I mean, they tell you the truth. They tell you, they show you like ancient Tartaria and all these places. That is what was here, and the maps show it. Modern times, they've tried to erase it, act like it didn't happen, go and take down all the free energy across the planet, because that was everywhere. All the bells that were healing energy, that was everywhere. They took it all down. We need to reestablish it. If the right things happened, you could get this place back up online. Somebody did it before. It's the only hope that I see, is that it happened before, and like a higher power let it be, and it happened. It flourished. Atlantis, whatever, free energy, all these things. This place was operating on a high vibrant type of flow, and Thoth wrote about that. There was a war basically in Mars to offset everything. Those entities came here. It was a short time after things went south here, because they were what he described as being male-dominant entities, warring entities, not peaceful in nature, and it offset things. And then Atlantis fell, and the rest is history. But Atlantis and everything was set up on a lane line, natural grid structure. We know of this right now. It's crazy. We know of all this stuff. We know of all of it. Like your government's just daring you to try to use it, or try to build a Tesla tower in your backyard or anything like that. But it's there. It's there to be tapped into. So is the Most High. You seek the kingdom of God within you. That is home. That's where you should be sending your prayers. That light source, when you close your eyes, right there, speak to it. You tell it. You put everything through that. Now you know. Not to something far off in the sky. Right there. It's always with you. And don't you ever forget it. All right, so, all right, man. Where we at? All right, I'm going to shut this down, man. I'm going to thank you guys for joining me for another one. Check a couple of things here real quick. And I want to thank everyone hanging out again. Good show tonight. So check the chat here for any comments, any questions, man. And answer. Spend the very end here answering some things people asked me. Someone asked me about they're struggling. They're going through it. Fighting the demons here in life. Was asking me to explain, like, what more do I mean? Like, what does he mean? Is there something, like, this person was asking me, are they missing something? And what I think you're yearning for, and I've said it before, but it's just simple. You need to walk righteous. This person tonight, straight up, just told me they did a lot of bad things when they were younger, and regret it, and they don't want to pay for it, cycle back through, which is understandable. As always, I say, get right with the Most High. Christ is King. And I believe people can be forgiven if you truly, depending on the crimes. I'm not judgment. I'm not judgment. Although I am scales. I am Libra. I am scales. And walk righteous, man. It's all you can do is The way I see it is this. Is all I could tell anybody. This is what even Jesus is telling. This is what he's saying. He said it thoroughly. People just don't. People cherry pick scripture, which is garbage. But I mean, it's what it is. So people just they hold on to some things and they twist them. I think is my problem with it. Into ways they weren't meant to be, and they hide behind it, and they use it as an excuse for inaction. And I think that action is what the higher power is looking for. I'm going to tell you this much also. Enoch never warned about any major sins that had people go to Sheol or to these certain places. It was the way that people lived. He said, woe. There's 5 woes. Woe to the rich man that eats, that has a poor man sitting outside of his door. Woe to those who write lies and press them upon the people. Woe to people that are deceitful, basically, over and over again. Walking righteous was the key. And if you wanted to get to the first chamber in the mountain in the west, where souls go after you die, that has a river in it, and people sit there in peace, you need to live a life that takes you there. That's it. You have to put the work in. So yeah, if you lived a very bad life, and a lot of that bad outweighed the good, I don't know what to tell you, man. All I know is I see it as energy. I don't hear a word. You just get thrown on scales. And that's it. Whatever way it tips, it tips. You get it right this time. I cannot tell you that there will ever be anyone that gets you this close again in another cycle. You'd be lucky to even be in line with the form of knowledge you can get to this point. Because people this very moment that don't have this, can't reach this knowledge, even right now on this planet with all this technology. So you cycle back in, I don't know what is going to happen. I don't know what the odds going to be. That's why I tell everybody right now, like, do it now. Like, this, get it. As Jesus says, you got to unlock, you got to do it in this life. It's something that you do in this life, and I get it all now. Because it's where you're going. You're determining where you're going with all your actions. So be good in life, man. It's really not hard, man. To be honest with you, it's an evil world. It's a hard world. It's a bad world. A lot of bad things, but the bottom line is do good. Be good. That's all I see in everything, everywhere. All the scripture. Walk righteous, man. Walk righteous. Be the good. Be the change that you seek. Be good. Do it. Believe in it. Seek it. Do it. Be it. And you cannot be denied, in my opinion. There's no other better option. I believe in what Jesus said. Seek the kingdom of God within you, walk righteous. And I also believe that people that never... What if a child is born somewhere out there in some tribe and never gets none of this knowledge, but lives a good life and a good, righteous life with all of its loving heart and soul? I believe that it can find its way to the first chamber. Because that's what they're showing, man. It's all they keep saying. It's all they all keep saying. Even the Egyptians said it again before Jesus. They said that, and it's curious because they said only the righteous will have somebody accompany them after death. The rest won't. Like, you're going to go before judgment, before the scales, the feather of truth. By off. Have a lawyer with them, a representative, so to speak. And they said it. I'm just telling you, man. Like, again, this is all what the ancient said, man. That's why I like to stick with. So I wish you luck. Silver Sailor, salutes, my brother. I'll see some of you on the other side, no doubt. No doubt. Time is short. Shutting it down. And I am oh gosh, should I do it? Should I do it? Oh man. Oh, I can't. Can I? I gotta give just a tease. Just a quick tease, man. And literally, it's just, this next time I hit play, it's gonna just be it. This is what I'm working on. But
so keep the flock off the
block. Yeah. All right. Crown Jewels, I don't think you're anywhere around. Are you? Tacos, here you are. Much love, man. Hope all is good with you, man. Jay from the Ville, everyone out there. But yeah, keep the flock off the block. It's coming. And it's going to be hard. Thank you for joining me. Take us out of here on the dream. And as I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'd like to see you here next time. Some Underground World News Live. Yeah, this next one's gonna be a banger. Much love, everybody out there. I appreciate you. Stay fighting the fight. Stay righteous. Stay helping one another. Much love. God bless. Thank you, Eon. The legendary. Thank you for those coffees. Everyone else, thank you again for your support. Flock party on. Keep the flock off the block. We'll be back Wednesday. Much love. God bless.